Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
I'm Carol Messer, along with Nora Melinda. So let's get to some of the stocks on the move. Denisa Sakova has had quite a day. She's with us, Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter. Just a little bit of stuff going on here to keep us all busy.
A little bit after hours. Oracle's earnings. We're seeing quite the reaction. Oracle posted quarterly cloud revenue that was better than expected. That company was under a lot of pressure. It was down about 50% from September highs. Clearly, we're seeing very different reaction after hours. The ticker, of course, is ORCL. Shares are up about 8% in extended trading. That's quite the jump for the company. Projected strong sales in the upcoming fiscal year. What everyone is looking for signs that the company is turning its massive AI spending into revenue. And clearly, we're seeing a little bit of this today, and investors are pretty happy about it so far, of course, in not so liquid trading. Oracle is working to deliver all those massive cloud infrastructure deals. We're talking about Meta, we're talking about OpenAI, and all those companies have been at the center of all the market worries about AI. And you can see that investors have definitely punished those. But some good numbers. Sales in the company's closely watched infrastructure business gained 84%. This is significantly higher than what analysts were expecting. That said, I also looked at the capital expenditure number.
Yeah.
That's also higher than what analysts expected. So, there is definitely some caution.
But it hasn't changed, right?
It hasn't changed.
So that was better that it didn't go up, but it also hasn't gone down.
Yeah, but investors expected 14 billion, and there is nearly 19 billion of capital expenditure. So that's 5 billion is a lot more.
But their fiscal year 2026 has stayed kind of consistent, right?
That's true. That's true.
So it's interesting. We talked with our Anurag Rana of Bloomberg Intelligence, and he said what's so key is they have such a massive relationship with OpenAI, and so listening for some color around that on the call with analysts and investors to see that is still kind of tight.
And funding.
And funding, right?
Yeah, he said IRR funding, the OpenAI situation. So it's a lot for investors to parse through that I'm sure we're going to see continuing into tomorrow's trading day.
For sure. But a pop. Yeah.
What else are you keeping an eye on right now?
I'm keeping an eye on the bond market. And Amazon.com, they had a good day today. Stock was up around 40 basis point. Ticker is AMZN. The company raised $37 billion from US dollar bond sale. It's a very interesting thing to look at. Obviously, with all the volatility in the market, we kind of weren't expecting so many deals, but we're seeing clearly some of them coming back. Of course, I guess there have been some good news when it comes to the war, so fundraising in back. Blockbuster fundraising, fourth largest U.S. corporate bond sale on record.
God, yeah. These big tech companies doing issuing debt. And this one, I think Amazon, right, is going to have, is it like on track for a quarter, whether is it negative cash flow, is free cash flow?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. There was clearly a lot of demand. The offering was increased from initial guidance of 25 billion to 30 billion. The U.S. portion of the deal drew more than 100 billions. Clearly a lot of demand. Everyone wants to be part of those hyperscaler debt deals. We've seen quite a few other ones that were met with a lot of interest. Of course, everyone wants to be with those big companies. That doesn't necessarily tell us too much about the health of the rest of the business, but clearly it went well, and the company, it's a small gain today, but clearly investors didn't show too much worry about that debt sale.
It's interesting. I see this story on the Bloomberg terminal saying the U.S. corporate IG market posted its largest day on record. And the last record that we saw on a daily record for this issuance for high grade was in 2013. So Amazon clearly really adding to that push.
It's massive, right? I mean, with these guys, when they come to the debt markets, it's just unbelievable. Let's go to Goeasy.
Yeah, we're going to Canadian stocks, but quite the moves there. Goeasy, the ticker is GSY. The stock was down more than 60% today. It got worse and worse during the day. It was initially a smaller loss. Stocks and bonds of the company tumbled after the Canadian subprime lender suspended its dividend, withdrew its financial outlook, and disclosed hundreds of millions of dollars in loan losses tied to its vehicle business. Everyone has been looking at that space for cracks. Clearly, this is just one example in Canada, but definitely we saw quite the reaction.
They lease products.
Yeah. it's really big. And one thing I saw is the company acknowledges that macroeconomic conditions, higher unemployment rate, cost of living are definitely negatively impacting the consumer base, which is, it becomes more than just a company story, perhaps a story about the Canadian consumer that maybe extends here as well.
Just below $800 million in market cap. So
small company, but still.
But some big moves.
60% move.
Yeah, that's a big move. Good stuff. Denitsa, thank you so much.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.